thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to spend with me. This is Joy, and I welcome you. Today, I want to have a conversation with you. You know, many times I have referred to the narcissist as a cult leader, and I felt it was time for us to have this conversation about why do I see the narcissist as a cult leader? Do you have the same thoughts about the narcissist being a cult leader? And really, what was your experience like? And, do you have any experience with a cult? And, I want to go ahead and say this first. And these are my thoughts, okay? So share yours with me in the comments and let's talk about this thing. I think that for anybody who has been in a relationship with a narcissist, you have dabbled in, the occult. You've been involved with a cult. Because really, there is no difference between a narcissist and the way they work and how they think and how they methodically go about the process of actually devaluing people, selecting victims, and as well as brainwashing them. Is pretty much the same way a cult leader works. Maybe brainwashing was a harsh word, but, actually getting mind control of that person. They're pretty standard in how they operate, but I wanted to talk to you really about these narc creatures and how they really are cult leaders. In my mind, in the history of cults, there's never been a good cult. Just like in the history of narcissists, psychopaths, sociopaths, there have never been any good people. They are not loyal, they're not dependable, and they're not honest. None of them are. A lot of the times after you're discarded, you're left feeling hurt, confused, isolated, and you're sometimes left on the outside looking in. You're looking into the narcissist's fantasy glass house, and they're sitting there smiling away and having a happy life, seemingly happy life, with a new supply, and you're left wondering, what did I do wrong? Why me? And there's so many unanswered questions that the narcissist the cult leader will never answer, because it violates the oath that they take. It violates their code of conduct, their code of ethics, which is really none. But in their way of thinking, in their illogical logic, it violates them. And so they don't give it to you. And of course, they have reasons why they do this. But from the outside looking in, everything looks like it's perfect. It looks like it's amazing. But remember, at one point in time, we ourselves sat in the same fantasy glass house of horror with a narcissist. And we know that there's nothing perfect. Cult leaders never change. They don't suddenly treat new recruits any better. Narcissists do not change. They were not nice. They were not good. They were not loyal. They were not committed. They were not dedicated to you. And they certainly will not be with a new supply. You're missing absolutely nothing. Like all known cults worldwide, they are after your soul. Your mind, your emotions, and your will. You see, cult leaders want your soul, and they use sophisticated mind control and recruitment techniques to diligently refine their techniques over time. Narcissists are no different. They have been refining the art of deception their entire lives, and they become so good at it that they just get better at doing what they do. They become slicker and smoother with lying and deceiving and breaking hearts. But before we go further into this discussion, I want you to consider that nobody, absolutely nobody, is immune to cult involvement or indoctrination. There are people around the world right now, this very minute, who are completely unaware that they are in fact in a cult, a love cult, a narcissistic harem. They don't know that they are with a narcissist. Some people are actually in a cult, a religious cult, maybe. And they're actually clueless that they're in a cult. They honestly don't know. Listen, in all honesty, I didn't know that I was with a narcissist or what narcissism even was until it was all said and done. And I was left asking God, what happened to me? What just happened? And I was so desperate. I was seeking and I was searching for answers because nothing made sense at all. I know I'm not the only one who's felt that. I know I'm not the only one who has been at that place of hurt, that place of pain, that place of rejection and abandonment. I know I'm not the only one. The first thing I would like to discuss with you today in this video is some misconceptions on what cults are. And if I address it from the perspective of a cult, we can also look at it how it relates into narcissism. One of the misconceptions is that they're easy to spot. People think that members of a cult wear strange clothes, and some actually do, but not all. Some people expect them to live secluded lives. They don't. They're right here, dressed like you and I, right here in our midst, just like these narcissists. They live, they eat, and breathe the same way that we do, the same things that we do. The members are recruited into the cult, and narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths begin the process of indoctrination, isolating them from friends and family. These predators, they want access to their target's mind and emotions, because if they're able to get their mind, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The will follow, and that gives them access to the target's soul. People believe that cult members and victims of narcissistic abuse are weak and emotionally unstable people, and this is a lie. This is a lie straight from the pit of hell. Just as many cult members are intelligent people, so are many victims of narcissistic abuse. They are not weak. They are not pathetic. They are not miserable. They are people that these cult leaders, that these narcissists targeted. And they use their finest tricks to get them. Now, mind you, they don't work alone. They work in tandem with a host of spirits. Your monitoring spirits, your familiar spirits, your Python spirit, the spirit of Leviathan, the spirit of Jezebel, the territorial spirits. They all work in tandem to secure this target. So when we think about why are these people selected for indoctrination into the cult, we have to look at what God's plan for their life was. We may never really know, because some of them never really reach their full potential, because many lives have been lost in cults. Many lives have been lost to narcissists. But at the same time, many have not. There are some people out here doing great things, and it's that light, it's that aura, it's that gift, it's that talent, it's that purpose, it's that calling, it's that anointing that attracts the cult leader, that attracts the narcissist. That is the reason why they were sent on assignment to indoctrinate these very people. It is all deliberate and it is all personal. Again, these demons work in tandem to know when the best time to approach you is. Isn't it funny that the moment you start you start feeling better, you're getting stronger and you're starting to recover, and here comes that raggedy, dusty cult leader with a hoover. And suddenly you're left feeling some type of way. Irritated, annoyed, thrown off, upset, wondering why. A lot of things that, you were no longer questioning, but because it showed its dusty head, you're wondering. Again, all to throw you off. I want you to know that the church is not exempt from cults. And I'm not talking about what people would refer to as religious freaks, because we know that from the Catholic denomination right down to the non-denominational church, there are cult leaders right there. They're in the pulpit. And when we have when the church is run by a cult leader, when the church is run by a narcissist, please trust and believe that the Spirit of God does not live there. God is not the author of confusion. He will not be in the midst of this foolishness. He is light, and light drives out darkness. So when the church is a trap house and the leader is a cult leader, is a narcissist, sociopath, psychopath, God does not live there. And they are doing what they are doing, but it is not of God. And if you are somebody who has been a victim of spiritual narcissism, blame the people, but not God, because that is not God's will. That's not his design. That's not his purpose. But there's another type of cult leader that I also want to draw your attention to. And this one is a little different. I mean, not different, but very much like a lot of narcissists. But, you know, this is your prosperity cult leader, the one that promises you a better life, lead you to the promised land through a whole lot of prosperity talk. But at the end of the day, all they want is your money. It's about financial gain from you. A little investment here, a little investment there. If you would help me here, boo, let me hold a little something. You know, they have many ways of getting that financial supply from you because that's what they need. And it's that greed that gets them into the position that they are, because they listened to the father of all lies. They drank his Kool-Aid, and now they believe that it's easier to deceive people, to lie, to play games with people's minds, so that they can not just siphon their soul, but use them for their finances, because they're too lazy to make anything happen for themselves. And so you find that there are these cults that exist to take money from people, to build up the wealth of the cult leader, while the targets work and work and work and dedicate their lives and their time and walk away with nothing, or are deserted and left with absolutely nothing. You see, it doesn't matter what sphere of life you encounter the narcissist cult leader, their goal is always the same: to gather your soul for their ultimate benefit. You have to remember that mind control is dishonest influence, and it's covert. It's pure evil, and it strips the targets of their identity, their will, and peace of mind. Targets of both the narcissist and cult leader, which again are one and the same, are told over and over again that they need these minions in their lives. You will lose your family and your friends. No one loves you like I do. If you leave me, you will fail. You will go to hell. That is what they will say to their targets, and it is all lies, straight from the father of lies. When these jokers talk, they are using their native language, lies. With these people, deception is a must, because there's not a single person alive who will sign up for this foolishness. If there was a billboard that advertised the services that they offer in this house of horror, no, there is no truth here. The narc cult leader wants to be viewed as your savior, and you must bow down and blindly serve and worship them. It's a lie. The narc is a cult leader, and there is no ifs, ands, buts, or maybes about it. There is nothing to debate here. All targets have to be indoctrinated into the narcissistic harem, the love cult. And when you leave, or if you are discarded, however it happens, see it as a blessing. It's your way out. It's your get out of jail free card, even if it didn't happen the way that you wanted. But trust me, it is a get out of jail free card. Yes, I felt that pain. I felt that disappointment. I felt the isolation. I felt the regret. I felt the loneliness. I felt the sorrow. I know that it is real. But this is a cult. This is not healthy, and it's not good for you. Your very life depends on this, and you cannot take this lightly. Your physical life, your emotional life, your mental life, your psychological life. This is not a game, and you cannot and you must not go back. Yes, you may miss them, but it is not worth what you stand to lose if you go back. The word says that we should resist the devil and he will flee. Focus on the path that lies ahead of you. Cleanse your heart, your mind, body, soul, and spirit. Because anytime you have been with a narcissist, those things, your soul has been infested with what is evil. And so now it's time to do the work to purge. It's time to do the work to cleanse all of you. Your mind, your emotions, and your will. Turn it around, cleanse all of that so that your soul can be clean. Ultimately, giving you access to be able to tap into your true self. And this is why it is important to see the narcissist as a cult leader. They are pure evil, sent to derail you, sent to get you to go on to the ultimate path that they are on, one of total destruction.